You are lying, because you can't come from Ethiopia by bus, pass all those other borders and all those other countries without papers.
End the xenophobic and vigilante violence and protect the vulnerable migrant communities. Non-negotiable. Arrest and charge.
I had this impression, the students had this impression that you are hungry in your country and that is why you are here.
Did they actually say that? You express
they have that impression.
Another luggage which has suits inside. Then he said to him, these suits you have to give them to my colleague who's in Hong Kong. And then not knowing that inside those suits there were drugs inside.
So over 60 South Africans have been arrested in Hong Kong for drug-related issues. Over 60 South Africans are in Hong Kong prisons for drug-related issues. And also, I have other videos to show you what's currently happening in South Africa. The marching is going on. They are still going from door to door, shop to shop, company to company, and they are demanding that their people should be employed and foreigners should be taken out. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. You don't lose anything by liking. Just give the video a thumbs up. Let's go into the video, watch, come back and talk.
Profit organization by Ariba South Africa says it has managed to help over 36 convicted drug mules to reunite with their families after being arrested abroad. Most of those assisted are South Africans released on parole, unable to return home due to financial constraints. According to the International Relations and Cooperation Department, in 2023, about 680 South Africans were imprisoned overseas for drug-related crimes. My colleague Aldrin Simpia is still live from the OR Tambo International Airport, where he's joined by the founder and CEO of Ba South Africa. Aldrin, let's talk a little bit about some of the cases that they found of South Africans arrested and stuck abroad.
Yeah, actually this morning we were supposed to be in conversation with Sylvester, who is one of the returnees that have been assisted by Ba'ahiba South Africa, and unfortunately he didn't pitch for this interview, but it would have really been nice to get his experience about how he ended up in Hong Kong, later on convicted, and how he found himself stranded in Hong Kong. But joining us now is Tlori Matipile, who is the CEO of Ba'ahiba South Africa, to explain also the story of Sylvester. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. Fortunately, Sylvester isn't here, but tell us about how you got in touch with Sylvester and how he found himself in Hong Kong.
Oh, okay, thank you so much, Adrian. The thing with Sylvester, I got actually a message from his mom that his son is being arrested in Hong Kong, because our organization is advocating for international policy for prisoner transfer. So that's when she told me about Sylvester's story, that Sylvester was recruited for a job in Hong Kong. And then only when he got to, because before he traveled from South Africa, he was promised a job as a driver. So he was given a luggage.
But he was a pastor?
Yes, he was a pastor. So,
okay.
But he was recruited by another pastor in Johannesburg. There's a church there. So on the day when he left, he was having his own luggage. So this pastor found him here at OR Tambo, and then he gave him another luggage which has suits inside. Then he said to him, these suits you have to give them to my colleague who's in Hong Kong. And then not knowing that inside those suits there were drugs inside. So he just checked in, and then only when he got to Hong Kong, that's when he realized that he was flagged, because immediately when he got to Hong Kong, the police, they had his picture, and then they were checking his passport, and that's when they checked also his luggage, and that's how he got arrested.
So he's convicted, and then what happened?
Then he ended up spending 7 years in prison in Hong Kong. As you know that when you're arrested in a foreign country, you can't speak the language and you can't even explain yourself as to what happened. So only after a few years, when he's that side, he's starting to learn the language. That's when now he started, explaining as to what happened to him. And he was not the only one. There's a lot of South Africans in Hong Kong prison, male and female sides.
Currently as we speak?
Currently as we speak.
What's that number looking like, more or less?
We have about 67.
67.
South Africans.
And are they all convicted on drug-related charges?
Yes, most of them, they are convicted on drug-related charges. And most of them are actually victims of human trafficking, same like Sylvester.
Yeah. Where would you say the epicenter is when it comes to South Africans being convicted for being involved in drugs? Which countries should we be looking at? So you mentioned Hong Kong.
Yes, Brazil, Mauritius, that is where we have a lot of males, and most of them, they are whites. mostly in Mauritius. Yes.
Yeah, and we also just heard a bit earlier on from the Department of Social Development that a 5-year-old is going to be brought back from Mauritius after their mother was convicted,
Yes.
of course. Tell us why you do what you do, because at the end of the day, these are people that were involved in trafficking drugs, they've committed a crime, they have been convicted. Why do you do what you do?
We do what we do because we believe that we are South Africans, and we believe each and every person needs to be heard. And these people, South Africans who are in those foreign prisons, they are voiceless. Like I just explained, that when they get to a foreign country, they can't speak the language. So we are advocating so that the real perpetrators, which are the recruiters, must be arrested as well, because only the decoys, which are the victims, get arrested, whilst the recruiters are still around here in Johannesburg, Cape Town, still recruiting more and more young people to go and do this work for them.
So has your work actually aided the police in trying to find those recruiters, the ones who are the masterminds behind this? I also raised this issue as well with the Lieutenant General, the Deputy Police Commissioner a bit earlier on, about the masterminds behind this. We're not seeing the arrest of the masterminds. Yes, we do see the drug mules, but the guys who are behind the scenes pulling the strings.
Yeah, that is the reason why we do this work, because we believe in justice. And when we speak of justice, why are we only speaking about those who are being arrested? Why are we not going deeper? Because when our people are arrested in foreign prisons, where did the crime start? It started here in South Africa. Is South Africa investigating how come this person got arrested in a foreign country? And when you check these people's passport, it was their first time traveling to a foreign country. And you find out most of them, others were even invited on Facebook by the people that they met, like, they meet lovers on Facebook, things like that. And then only for them to fall in those traps. So it shows that our South African security on its own, it's lacking. So our people are falling traps, and also with a huge unemployment rate in the country, it also forces our people also to fall into these traps.
Yeah, but earlier on we were speaking to Jabulani Kambule, who's the regional manager for the OR Tambo International Airport at AXA, and he downplayed what you've mentioned in your statement, that the issue around the decoys, where you find that an individual is actually being used as a decoy. An informant has told the police that look out for such and such an individual, not knowing actually that there's a larger consignment that is actually making it through.
It's true what he just said, because the investigation is not done here. So I think it's not clued up, because as we are on the ground day in, day out, and we know that even OR Tambo itself, this is where our people live. I mean, if the OR Tambo itself was when they see that it's your first time you are traveling to Brazil, and they know that there's been cases of young people who's been arrested there, they are supposed to, to call you on the side and question you, what are you going to do in Hong Kong? What are you going to do in Brazil? So it seems like here everything is just a flow ride for anyone to come and commit crime in OR Tambo.
What would you like to see happen?
What I would like to see happening, because we took the memorandum to the President, Cyril Ramaphosa, and then he instructed us that we need to meet with the Correctional Services Minister, which by then was Mr. Lamola. And then to this day, we have not got any response from Mr. Lamola's office. So currently we have a new minister, Mr. Groenewald. I'm just asking from him that if he can meet with us and work with us on this policy, because South Africa is one of the 3 countries in the world without international prisoner transfer, but we are part of the United Nations. But our government does not want to sign this policy. That's what I can say, because this problem started in 1994. That was when we had a first South African being arrested in Hong Kong. So there's been a lot of advocates. Before me, there were other advocates like Ms. Patricia Gerbe, who was advocating, whose son was arrested in Mauritius. Like, Mauritius is ready to sign the international prisoner transfer. Hong Kong is ready to sign the international prisoner transfer. Even Minister Lindwe Sisulu, she went to Brazil 2018. She went there to conclude the prisoner transfer contract, but then she was removed from her position as a minister. Africa. So you can see that there is a lot of, dirty hands.
Yep.
Yeah, within the ministers or whoever that is involved within this drug trafficking.
Yep. Maybe something that we should pick up with government as well and find out why there is the delay. Is it something that South Africa wants to pursue? But how many cases are you currently dealing with as Ba'akhiba South Africa?
Currently, we are dealing with about 873 South Africans in foreign countries, not just, abroad, even here within SADC.
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. What's your name and where? Well, we know where you're calling from, but which parts of South Africa?
Cape Town.
Okay,
Coach
super.
Ade.
Ade.
Yeah.
Okay, Coach Ade.
Yeah.
Welcome. Thank you for calling.
I speak extensively on the Nigeria-South Africa xenophobia issue on TikTok. I speak extensively about it. There are a number of factors. Okay. Number one, elections.
Yes.
Anytime the election is coming up, the South African politicians know that the bulk of their black people, who are the majority of the electorate, are xenophobic. So that is the reason why the ANC and Cyril Ramaphosa cannot say anything, because the moment they say that stop what you're doing, we don't like, and they start arresting their leader, they lose votes. Because they've lost votes in the past over their stance on immigration.
Yes.
And that is why they have to form government of national unity, because they didn't have enough votes to form a government by themselves. Okay? That's number one. Number two factor that is causing this thing is envy and jealousy. They were comfortable with living their lives collecting grants from the government and smoking and drinking from morning till night. They were comfortable with that. But the moment immigrants started coming in from other parts of Africa, which they believed Bantu education taught them they were better than those immigrants from other parts of Africa.
And this, Coach Ade, if I may interrupt you, you make such an excellent point, because this is the thing I did ask, do South Africans see themselves as Africans? They clearly don't. I mean, not all of them, but majority of them. Keep going.
Yes, they believe. Okay, let me give you a backdrop. During Bantu education, during the apartheid, when there was Bantu education and all, the apartheid government made them to understand that yes, you are under apartheid, but the other Africans are living on trees; they are not educated.
Yeah.
So they had that impression. So when freedom came and other Africans started migrating to South Africa, they saw doctors, they saw engineers, they saw lawyers, they saw business people. They said, but you said we were better than these people. So how come they are taking over our country? They are the best doctors in our hospitals. They are the best teachers in our schools. They are the best engineers in our engineering companies. And they are the best lecturers in our universities. These are people we were supposed to be better than. And that actually caused a kind of friction in the fact that a Nigerian buys a car, they get jealous and they say, no, if we were not for South Africa, you would not have bought that. I've stayed in this country for 20 years. I speak the language.
Which one do you speak? There are many.
I speak Zulu, actually.
Okay, you speak Zulu. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So anytime in Nigeria, there was a time I was driving my car and one of them said, why are you driving our car? Why can't you go in your country and buy a car? So
what car were you driving?
It was just a Mercedes.
Wow. And the person called it our car?
Our car.
Is he or she aware that Mercedes is German?
Because I was driving it in their country. Basically, they felt like I would not have succeeded if I they refer to other African countries as shitholes. Sorry, I'm sorry, that country.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So they feel like they are better, even though if an average South African that stays in a shack that does not even have a source of income believes is better than Dangote because he's a South African.
We see that in the comments, actually, yes.
Yes. So, like I said, there are a number of factors. And among them also is poor education. You only need 30% to pass in high school. I was a teacher, so I know.
Yeah.
So, in higher grade, you only need 30%. By the time you make 30% throughout all your subjects, you have passed.
It's incredible, isn't it? Yeah.
What?
I said it's incredible. That's just incredible.
Yes, yes. So their level of interaction, their level of engagement, their level is relatively poor. There are very few sound ones among them, but the bulk of them, the only thing they have to be proud of is the fact that they are South African, and they think foreigners from other African countries are taking over. Let me not take all your time.
No, Coach Ade, before you go, I've got questions for you, my brother. You can't just go like that. You've dropped some really salient points. Thank you so much for calling in. I think everybody's listening to you because there are no calls coming in. So I've got to ask you some questions. What do you do now, if I may ask?
Well, I retired as a teacher 30 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Sorry. I retired as a teacher. I've been a teacher for 20 years. I retired 2018. So I'm into personal business now.
Okay.
I do consultancy, yes.
Okay, so as a teacher, how were you received as a teacher by the students, as a Nigerian?
Okay. As a Nigerian teacher at that time, they had this impression, the students had this impression that you are hungry in your country, and that is why you are here.
Did they actually say that to you? Express?
They have that. They have that impression. They have that impression, and the reason why I took an early retirement is because if to everybody listening, and if there are teachers that work in South Africa, they know this, that it's traumatizing working as a teacher in South Africa, because especially in the government school, because the children come with guns and knives and all kind of things to school. And apart from that, there's so much freedom. They're allowed to be gay, they're allowed to be lesbians, and they try to exercise that in the school premises, that you can't say anything. And that's even none of my business. But you go for a weekend, and you get to school on a Monday. 2 of your children have committed suicide because they were not happy with what their father did to them and all those kind of things. So all those traumatic experiences and the dangers attached to being a teacher in a government school made me to take an early retirement.
Can you hear my question?
Yes, I do.
So don't answer the question I did not ask. Who's your boss?
He's not here right now.
If you answer your own question, who's your boss?
His name is Temescal.
Who?
His name is Temescal.
Temescal.
Yeah.
How did you get to South Africa? How did you get to South Africa?
You will ask her yourself when you
No, but she's asking you
How did you get to South Africa?
I mean, a refugee.
No, how did you get to South Africa? I'm not asking if you're a refugee or not. Let's say you're a refugee, but how did you arrive in South Africa?
I just came with the
bus, train.
How did you arrive?
like with the pass.
No, I'm not talking about a pass. I'm talking about your mode of transport. Did you run to the border? Did you fly did you jump? Did you swim? How did you get here?
With the bus.
You came with that?
With the bus.
With the bus.
Yes.
Where was the bus from?
I came from Ethiopia.
Okay, so the bus was coming from Ethiopia.
Yeah.
But how did you pass all those other countries before you came here without
You know what? I'm saying it's in the 10 years here.
No. I'm saying I don't care how many years. I'm not asking about years.
But
I'm
there's
not
no
asking
conflict
about
now.
years.
There's no
No.
conflict now.
Wait, I'm asking if you're saying to me you came here from Ethiopia all the way to South Africa by bus. How did you pass all those other countries to come here? Because they wouldn't let you through their borders without documents. It's not like South Africa. How did you pass those countries?
Long time. They take a long time. But
You're not answering me. I'm not asking you about the time. I'm asking you about the how. How did you come to South Africa? As a refugee, so there's a war, right? Or whatever it is that you're running away from. You run, you go take a bus, you have no documents. You pass all those countries to South Africa to open a tuck shop. I'm saying to you.
No, I'm not opening the door.
Okay, fine. Yes, fine. Whatever it is that you're doing. I'm saying, how did you pass all those other countries' borders without documents?
I just came with the paper.
What paper?
Did you have a
With the
passport?
pass.
There's no way other countries will let you into their country without papers. There's no way.
It's me, I came like that.
No, you're not telling the truth. And you know you're lying. You are lying because you can't come from Ethiopia by bus, pass all those other borders and all those other countries without papers.
We are marching in collective solidarity for Ubuntu and for humanity today. The first stop is at Cape Town Police Station, where we'll be handing over our demands to the station commander.
We are here to stop the violence in our community. Let me read our demand. The 80 organizations of Operation Ubuntu and members of the public demand to the South African police, number one, end the xenophobic and vigilante violence and protect the vulnerable migrant communities. Non-negotiable. Arrest and charge individuals engaging in incitement to violence and hate against foreign nationals, including those responsible for the eThekwini social media incident, which made the viral threats of petrol and burners. Arrest the drug lords and take steps to end the mass shootings in our communities.
So when you listen to the lady, that is putting pressure so that something can be done about the South Africans that are in the Hong Kong prisons. You see, these things are things that actually happen to a lot of people, and people tend to become victims of some of these circumstances. And it's actually a lesson to some of these guys that probably have been caught up in this situation, because I don't know if some of them, they willingly decided to smuggle some of these substances to Hong Kong, or all of them were basically victims of this circumstance. Someone just giving them a parcel, like a package to give to someone, or like whatever in a foreign land. If you're South African, if you are African and you're watching this should be a lesson to you. Probably one day you might decide to travel out and you might fall victim to some of these things, and you wouldn't know what to do. Right now they are stuck abroad in prisons, and if not for this lady trying to push for them to do that exchange, probably if the South Africans have Chinese prisoners, they can do that exchange. If not, then that is going to be a difficult thing to do, meaning they are going to be in the, because when they catch you with some of these substances, you are going to be in prison for a very long time. You are going to be in prison for a very long time. So it's sad hearing this, but also it's an advice and it's an experience for them, and it's an advice for you that is watching right now. Be careful out there on everything that you do, especially if you are traveling outside and someone wants to give you something to send to someone. Be careful. And you see this people going around and asking people, I don't know, when is this thing going to stop? Like, this is a question that I want to ask, like, South Africans. When is this thing going to stop? Because it seems like 30th June has passed, July has passed, we are in August, and still it is going on. When is it going to stop? That's my question. Thank you so much for watching.